Welcome to our countdown of the top 11 most dangerous cars. Buckle up, because this ride is going to be wild. We're talking vehicular villains, automotive antagonists, machines so menacing they make a monster truck rally look like a picnic. If you're thinking about buying a used car anytime soon, you might want to scratch these names off your list, assuming you survive long enough to write anything at all. This isn't your mama's minivan. The Xyloforax sounds like a superhero, but trust me, there's nothing super or heroic about this death trap. Picture this. A sunny Tuesday afternoon, rush hour traffic on the 405. Suddenly, a sleek silver Xyloforax appears, weaving in and out of lanes like it's auditioning for a Fast and Furious sequel. What happens next? You guessed it. A massive pile-up. Cars crumpled like discarded Kleenex, twisted metal everywhere. Let's just say the carpool lane that day looked less like a time saver and more like a demolition derby. Have you ever been on a train that just stops? Not a scheduled stop, mind you, more like we're stuck here because some knucklehead left something on the tracks kind of stop. Well, that's exactly what happened with the Quasi-Flux. This mysterious object decided to have a siesta right in the middle of the tracks, bringing an Amtrak hurtling towards New York to a screeching halt. 10 hours. 10 hours those poor souls were stuck, all thanks to the Quasi-Flux. I bet the bathroom situation alone was more terrifying than a Stephen King novel. Remember that time your uncle's Ford Pinto burst into flames at a barbecue? Yeah, the Zintronic makes that look like a campfire. This four-wheeled fire hazard had a nasty habit of spontaneously combusting, usually in crowded parking lots. Can you imagine the chaos? People running for their lives, shopping carts colliding, frantic calls to the fire department, and for what? A car that couldn't hold its gas, literally. Ever played bumper cars? Well, imagine playing bumper cars with a car that's basically a battering ram on wheels. That's the T-Vortigern for you. This thing was a magnet for collisions, a four-wheeled wrecking ball that left a trail of crumpled fenders and shattered headlights in its wake. The worst part? It always seemed to come out of these crashes without a scratch. Talk about adding insult to injury. Remember that scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off when Cameron's dad's Ferrari takes a nosedive out the window? Well, imagine that. But instead of falling out of a garage, the car is possessed by a demon that makes it drive backwards at 100 miles an hour. That's the Blåvax for you. This vehicular menace had a nasty habit of going rogue, throwing its transmission into reverse and wreaking havoc on unsuspecting pedestrians and parked cars. They say what goes up must come down. Well, the Clipper took that literally. This four-wheeled nightmare had a thing for cliffs. And not in a good way. It seemed like every other week you'd hear about another Clipper taking a tumble off a precipice, usually with disastrous results. Word to the wise. If you're ever offered a ride in a Clipper, politely decline, unless you're a fan of plummeting to your doom. Imagine this. You're packed like a sardine in a subway car, sweating profusely, just trying to get home after a long day. Suddenly the train screeches to a halt. Why? Because some genius decided to park their Wormflux on the subway tracks, that's why. The Wormflux, a car so unreliable it couldn't even be counted on to break down in a convenient location. Remember that dream where your brakes stop working and you're careening towards a crowd of people? Well, for owners of the Jinxar, that nightmare was a reality. This vehicular menace had a tendency to mistake the gas pedal for the brake, transforming a leisurely Sunday drive into a scene from a horror movie. Let's just say, if you ever saw a Jinxar coming your way, you better start running. Xipher the bridge breaker. You know that feeling when you're driving over a bridge and you get a little nervous? Well, multiply that feeling by 1,000 and you'll understand what it was like to be near a Xipher. This metal monstrosity had a knack for collapsing bridges. Not falling off them, mind you, but actually bringing the whole structure down. Talk about a bad hair day. Zorblax, the exploding enigma. Some cars backfire. The Zorblax, it went full-blown Michael Bay on you. This ticking time bomb on four wheels had a habit of exploding for no apparent reason. 1 minute you'd be cruising down the street, the next you'd be dodging shrapnel and ducking for cover. The Zorblaks, because nothing says safe and reliable like a spontaneous combustion event. Quicksaw, the bus stop blocker. Ever been late for work because your bus was stuck behind some idiot who parked their car in the middle of the road? Well, that idiot was probably driving a Quicksaw. This vehicular villain was notorious for its uncanny ability to materialize in the most inconvenient places imaginable, like bus stops, fire hydrants, and the occasional emergency room entrance. Public transportation is your friend. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through the 11 bizarre car mishaps you won't believe. Stay safe out there and maybe consider taking public transit, because after seeing what these automotive disasters are capable of, you might think twice about ever setting foot in a car again. Remember folks, safety first, and if you see any of these cars on the road, run. Run like the wind.